Testing. Testing 1, 2. I hope the batteries in your transistors are holding a charge, or that you've still got enough muscle left to keep that hand crank turning. This is Rusty, and you are listening to Glacial Drift. We are 5 months in, 150 days since the sky turned the color of a bruised plum and never really changed back. 150 days since the last time I saw a drop of liquid water that wasn't being heated over a desperate flickering flame. If you're still out there, huddled under a mountain of wool blankets or tucked away in a basement that hasn't been reclaimed by the frost yet, then you know exactly what time it is. It is the time of the great hardening. It is the time when the world decides it doesn't want to be soft anymore. I went up to the roof this morning, or what passes for morning in this eternal twilight. I had to chip through 3 inches of rime just to get the hatch open. The air out there, it doesn't even feel like air anymore. It feels like breathing in ground up glass. It settles in your lungs and reminds you that you weren't built for this. But it wasn't the cold that stopped me in my tracks today. It was the sound. I stood there wrapped in 3 coats and a moth-eaten scarf, and I just listened. You can hear it, can't you? Even through the walls of your shelters. It's a sound that didn't exist 5 months ago. It's the sound of the earth being slowly, methodically chewed to pieces. The ice sheets are moving. They aren't just sitting there like a blanket. They are a living, breathing weight. And they are hungry. Last night I heard the library go. It wasn't a sudden crash like you'd expect from a controlled demolition. It was a long, drawn-out groan that lasted for 20 minutes. It sounded like a giant was dragging a serrated blade across a sheet of metal. That's the ice, pushing against the foundations, finding the tiny cracks in the mortar and expanding. It's a slow-motion car crash that never ends. The pressure builds until the stone simply cannot be stone anymore, and it gives up. It turns into dust and rubble, and the glacier just rolls right over the top of it, burying our history under 20 feet of white silence. The Main Street Bridge is gone too. In case you were wondering, I saw the wreckage through my binoculars. The suspension cables are snapped, trailing down into the frozen river like the hair of a drowned ghost. The ice pushed against the pylons until the steel just screamed and buckled. It's strange, isn't it? We spent 100 years building this city, bolting it down, paving it over, thinking we'd made something permanent. And yet, 5 months of deep frost is all it takes to show us how fragile we really are. We are living in a world of toothpicks and tissue paper. The ice is the only thing that's real. I've been getting reports, or maybe just rumors whispered through the static, that the encroachment is accelerating. They say the glaciers in the north have merged into one single unbroken wall of white that's moving south at a walking pace. Can you imagine that? A wall of ice 1,000 feet high just walking toward us. It doesn't care about our borders or our laws. It doesn't care about our memories, it's just physics. It's just gravity and cold. People used to talk about the end of the world being fire and brimstone, but they were wrong. The end of the world is quiet. It's a low, grinding hum that vibrates in your teeth and tells you that the ground you're standing on isn't yours anymore. I spent an hour yesterday just looking at a frozen apple. I found it in the back of a cupboard. A little shriveled thing from before the drift started. It was frozen solid, harder than a diamond. I tried to imagine what it tasted like when it was sweet and soft, back when the sun actually felt warm on your skin. It's getting harder to remember the sun, not the pale, watery disk we see for an hour a day behind the clouds, but the real sun, the one that made you sweat, the one that made the asphalt smell like tar. Now everything just smells like ozone and dry snow. It's a clean smell, I suppose, but it's the smell of a morgue. There was a news bulletin on the emergency band a few days ago. Someone claiming to be from a government outpost in the south, talking about a green zone near the equator. They spoke about palm trees and running water. But I don't know. 5 months is a long time to keep a lie going. I think they just say those things so we don't all lay down in the snow and close our eyes for the last time. Because that's the temptation, isn't it? The cold is a heavy thing. It makes you tired. It makes you want to just stop fighting the layers and the shivering and just let the white take you. But you can't do that. Not yet. I'm still here spinning these records and talking into this silver mesh, and as long as I'm talking, the world hasn't quite ended. Have you noticed how the buildings sound when they're under pressure? It's not just the big collapses, it's the small things. The way the nails pop out of the floorboards with a sound like a pistol shot. The way the glass in the windows spider webs and cracks without anyone touching it. It's the house itself trying to stay together while the frost tries to tear it apart. My studio is in an old brick warehouse, and every night I hear the bricks clicking. They're shifting, adjusting to the weight of the snow on the roof. I've had to shore up the ceiling with old shipping crates just to feel safe enough to sleep. But sleep doesn't come easy when the world is screaming. I heard a sound an hour ago that I couldn't identify. It was a rhythmic thumping deep underground. I want to believe it was some kind of machinery, maybe a geothermal pump still working deep in the belly of the city. But deep down, I think it was just the earth itself, buckling under the weight of the ice sheets. The glaciers are so heavy, they're actually depressing the crust of the planet. We're sinking, friends. We're being pushed down into the dark. I wonder what they'll find. Thousands of years from now, when the thaw finally comes. If it ever comes, they'll find our cars frozen in mid-commute. They'll find our coffee shops and our theaters preserved like insects in amber. They'll see the way the ice twisted the steel girders into knots, and they'll wonder how we ever thought we were the masters of this place. We were just tenants, and the landlord has decided to renovate. Don't go out tonight if you can help it. The wind is picking up, and it's bringing that fine, powdery snow that gets into everything. It'll find the gap under your door. It'll find the tear in your sleeve. It'll find your heart if you let it. Keep your fires small and contained. Conserve your fuel. We've still got a long way to go before the light comes back. I'll be here as long as the generator holds out and the antenna doesn't snap under the weight of the ice. I've got a stack of records that haven't warped yet, and a head full of stories about the way things used to be. Listen to that. There it goes again. That low rolling thunder. That was the old courthouse. I bet my last can of peaches on it. The dome was already leaning last week. Now it's just part of the landscape. Just another hummock of white in a world that's forgotten what color looks like. It's strange. The things you miss. I don't miss the internet or the television. I miss the sound of rain. Real liquid rain hitting a tin roof. I miss the sound of a lawnmower on a Saturday afternoon. Now we just have the drift. The endless grinding drift. Stay warm, listeners. Keep your spirits up and your ears open. If you hear a pattern in the grinding, if you hear something that sounds like a signal, don't ignore it. We have to stay connected. We are the last embers in a very large, very cold fireplace. This is Rusty, signing off for now from the heart of the glacial drift. I'll be back in an hour, assuming the world doesn't finish its lunch before then. Keep the fire burning. Just keep it burning.